Welcome back to the channel. My name is Owen. Today I've got a video for you on Bitcoin. What is it and how does it work? So I did get some requests for this video, so here it is. Right, so start with the basic information. Bitcoin was launched in 2009 as a peer-to-peer network. That essentially means I can send it straight to my friend without having to go through a bank or other institution like PayPal. There's an anonymous creator who goes under the name Satoshi Nakamoto. They may be an individual or a group, it's not known. There are 21 million. There will only ever be 21 million coins of Bitcoin. That's capped. There can be less than that, but towards the end of Bitcoin, around 2150, all the Bitcoin will be in circulation, and it's the first use of blockchain for transactions. If you don't know what blockchain is, check out the video which should be in the corner now, as that is quite important to understanding Bitcoin. Right, so get on to the benefits. So it's non-inflationary, as there's only 21 million Bitcoin, or there only ever will be that many. So as opposed to like the US dollar, where they just keep printing money and this devalues your money, Bitcoin is got a limit. It's decentralized, so this stops any like bribing, money laundering, which we might have in our financial system now, because there's quite a lot of trust on the banks and the government, the Federal Reserve, people like that, to keep the money in order, really. So decentralized makes it give power to the people, and the network has to verify things. Easy transferable. You can just send it across the internet. You can send it, well, not across the blockchain technically, but I could send Bitcoin to my friend in like Brazil or something, and no one would be able to stop that. No bank or anything, just straight across. There's no physical contact, so like compared to gold, where you have to carry your gold around or store it in like a safe, with Bitcoin it's just digitally, so no one ever will need to know how much you have, or if you have any. There's lower fees. This might not always be the case. It can be low fees with the depending on how busy the network is, but compared to some banks and stuff, because there's no one to pay, there's no bank employees to pay, fees are lower. It's liquid, so this means, I'll make another video on this, but liquid markets basically mean it's easy to buy and sell. If I want to sell my Bitcoin for 50,000, I can probably sell it to someone, whereas say with art or something like that, you have to agree a price, and because it's so rare, it's hard to determine the value. There's not many buyers. You might have to change the price a lot. So say you wanted to sell it for 5 million for a painting, you might have to sell it for 3 million because no one else will buy it. And incentivize green energy, because say I have like a solar panel on my house or a wind turbine, these can be, the energy storage right now is not, the battery is not really there to be able to store the leftover energy. So say it's night time, I can just be, and the solar panel's got all the energy stored in it, which is just going to go to waste otherwise. I can plug in like a Bitcoin miner, and that can bring me some income for no extra cost. Now I'll get on to the issues. It is slow. I mean, it's not that slow, but 7 transactions per second on average, which might sound decently fast, but that's not viable for world money. I'm pretty sure Visa does about 50,000 transactions per second, so I don't believe that Bitcoin will become the global currency, which I think a lot of people, when they first hear about it, that's what they expect it to be, because they think, oh, Bitcoin, internet money, yeah, we'll just be able to send money to each other online easily. But especially also with Bitcoin's 21 million total coins, that doesn't really work particularly well for world money either. It does use a lot of energy, there's no denying that, but it does use less money than the banks and mining gold, and it is shifting towards renewables. Like I said, also there's a lot of like hydroelectric power dams where they generate a lot of electricity, and any leftover electricity they can use for Bitcoin mining. Satoshi reportedly mined 1 million Bitcoins before it was live to the public, or basically without telling anyone. He kind of so like a 21 million, like I said, so he's got 1/21th of the supply without telling people, which is a bit unfair, I guess, but I guess they created it. So, but he could, or she could dump it and just sell it all, but I don't see why they do that, to be honest. That's not really that big of a problem, but it's just a bit unethical, I guess. And then it's also new, so Black Swan event basically means the thing with, just because you see loads of white swans doesn't mean a black swan doesn't exist, and then basically it's basically an event that basically would end Bitcoin. But the thing with that is every day that goes by where Bitcoin doesn't fail proves it more, builds the trust more. Every company that accepts it builds the trust more. So I don't believe that's an issue. It's like, I mean, you have to take some risk, because that's like saying the internet in like 1999, oh yeah, it's new, let's just not go into it because it's new. I mean, old is not always better. We do need new technologies to keep improving the world. Anyway, so nodes, this is a bit more of how it actually works. So a node is basically a computer that secures the network. They verify transactions, and they are paid in Bitcoin from fees. They can also mine new Bitcoin by solving a mathematical problem, which I'll get onto in a minute. And multiple nodes have to verify a transaction for it to be valid. So say this is where the decentralization comes in. So say I want to send money to someone. These computers then check that this is not a fraudulent payment, because there is a glitch, which I should have added onto the issues, is the double spend. But I think that issue has been pretty much resolved now, but it's basically how you could spend your Bitcoin twice. But with nodes verifying the transactions, they make sure that doesn't happen. And if someone tries to like change or hack the blockchain, the nodes stop that from happening. So you need multiple nodes verify transaction, so that, because otherwise I could send a transaction and I could have my own node, and then I would verify my own transaction, and that would only be one person. So you need multiple nodes to do it, to make sure it's fair for the whole network. So mining. New Bitcoins are released into circulation by mining. So the nodes, which are the computers, they race to solve a mathematical problem. The winner is rewarded with Bitcoin, and this releases new Bitcoin into supply. So there's one of these mathematical problems every about 10 minutes. So the Bitcoin reward halves every 210,000 blocks. So that's like with the blockchains, which is about every 4 years. And the current reward, so this happens every 10 minutes, this rate. So currently, if you win, you get 6.25 Bitcoin, which as of today, Bitcoin's around 50,000, so that's about $300,000 for winning this race. And the mining gets more difficult if there are more miners, and it gets easier if there are less miners. So this incentivizes people to keep going. So say I'm mining and then loads of miners leave. If I still have to mine and it's still like taking lots of energy and computing power, that's not really fair. So they decrease the computing power and make it easier to win this Bitcoin, so that attracts more miners in. So uses. Bitcoin can be used as a store of value. This is the main use really at this point. It was supposed to be a peer-to-peer network, which is the second one. You can transfer value across borders with no middleman, bank or like institution or whatever. But now Bitcoin, because of the transaction limit of about 7 transactions per second, it's almost turned into more of a store of value, because there's a limited supply. It's similar to it's like digital gold is how I look at it. Because there's a limited supply, people buy it, they know it's not going to get inflated, so the value won't go down. The more people that want Bitcoin over time, the supply has stayed the same at 21 million and the demand has gone up. So you know what happens. Maybe you don't. I'll also make a video on that. When supply is flat and demand goes up, the price increases. So yeah, it's like a hedge against inflation. And then you can debank yourself. So I know some people who they actually don't. They only, I think, pretty sure they put all their savings into Bitcoin because they don't want it to get eroded. I think that's quite a bold move. I'm not recommending you to do anything, but you technically don't need a bank. You could put it on a offline wallet, like a ledger, which I can also make a video on, which basically means you carry around yourself a Bitcoin wallet, which you can then transfer the money off onto an exchange, sell it, get money, like fiat money, pounds, dollars, euros. Then you can also send it to your friend. So you no longer need the bank. And then also emergencies. This is also an important bit. It's unseizable money, right? So let's say you live in like a corrupt country with like corrupt government. You get your Bitcoin, you put it on a digital wallet. Actually, this is for all cryptocurrencies. No, they can't get to that. They might, because they probably don't understand it. Plus, if you just keep it with you, because of the nature of it, where it's peer-to-peer, there is no bank, there is no financial institution, there is no one tracking. It's literally just on the blockchain, and your address on the blockchain, like your username. So instead of saying like John got given 10 Bitcoin from Bob, it's like 0x83, like it's a massive long number. It's called a Bitcoin address. So yeah, so you have to like flee your country. You could just put your money into Bitcoin. I heard this recently with Naval and Tim Ferriss on their podcast. You could get the ledger or your hardware wallet with the Bitcoin on, take it, leave the country, go to another country, sign to like a crypto exchange there, transfer your money, your Bitcoin from your wallet onto the exchange, sell it, and then you've got local money. How big could it get? I think some people might want to know this. Don't get too greedy. Right, so Bitcoin price as of today is around $50,000. The market cap, which is the total amount of all Bitcoin, so say all the value of all the Bitcoin added together is 1 trillion. Now I'm comparing this to gold because I think it's better than gold, and it kind of serves the same purpose as gold, as like hard money. So from 1 trillion to 12 trillion, that is 12 times. So if Bitcoin market cap, 1 trillion, like I said, equals the gold market cap of 12 trillion. So if Bitcoin managed to get as big as gold, the Bitcoin price would be $600,000 per Bitcoin because it's gone up by 12. So the upside is 12x or 12,000%. So if you put in like $10 now, it'd be worth $120. If you put in $100 now, it'd be worth $1,200. If you put in $1,000 now, it'd be worth $12,000. Obviously, this is speculation. I do not know this is going to happen. I'm not telling you this is going to happen, but this is what I look at possible, and it could. I believe it may also grow larger than gold because it can capture. It's not just a store of value. It can also be used to transact value, and there's also other added benefits of it being decentralized, which can make it more valuable. So yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. Thanks for watching. If you have any video ideas, leave them in the comments. I appreciate all your support, and I'll see you in the next one.